Alright, hello and welcome to video 3. This is the final videos. In this video, we're going to play through the entire game project. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit maximize on play, and I'm going to hit the play button, and we're going to play through. And this should not take too long to play through. Now again, I'm going to speak to NPC1, and so if you look here, it says, "Hey Tom, I need to get into the hangar." But if we just pause this and go into Storyteller, we'll see it actually says, "Hey NPC1" and not Tom. So how did this happen? So if we select our route here, and we don't need to actually select the route, we can select any character. We just have our character selected here, and if we go up to our general settings here, under keyword filters, we're using a keyword filter to replace all instances of the word NPC1 with the word Tom. And here on this route, we're using keyword filters to replace the displayed text to be no or yes. So route 0 is going to be displayed as no, and route 1 is going to be displayed as yes. And after making the decision, we're going to end up displaying these dialogue. So back to the game. So it says, "Hey Tom, I need to get into the hangar," and let's go next. And we're using auto-timed display there for NPC. So it doesn't show next button, it just moves next after it displays the dialogue based on over a set amount of time. And how that's done is, if we pause again, go back to the story, click NPC1, and select this "Do you have your ID" dialogue that you just saw, and we scroll down to it. You can see that we're using time. So this one says use times on, and we're using the real-time delay. Now real-time delay is a new time setting, and real-time delay is generated at runtime, and real-time delay is the delay between a previous interaction and a current interaction. So for example, in the timeline here, the real-time delay between these two nodes would be the space in between. So that's where not only placing your nodes becomes important, but also the duration between them. If we had a very long duration or delay between these nodes, then the wait time would be much longer than 0.95 seconds here for this dialog node. All right, back to the game again. It says, "Do you have your ID?" Let's say yes. It says, "Okay, I'm going to scan you for the ID." Now, how does it scan us for the ID? If we jump back again, it says, "Okay, I'll scan you for the ID." If we select it and we scroll down, we have a automatic start use time. All right, we have a use time here, which says, "I'll scan you for the ID." Use time is true, but we also have a second function, which is going to be executed before, because it's going to have to wait 0.63 seconds before it calls this function. And in the interim, what we're going to be doing is running this function. So what it's going to do is it needs to check if we have our ID. If we do have our ID, then we will go to route, see here, sorry, the route here, not the dialogue. If we have our ID, then we'll go to route 1. If we don't have the ID, then we'll go to route 0, which is this one. All right, so the dialogue continues. All right, so we exit that. Let's try the second route here. "Do you have your ID?" No, I don't have it. I seem to have misplaced it. Sorry, I can't let you in. It says, oh. So I clicked the button while the transition was happening. I'm actually not gonna go ahead and disable that button there. So say where it says, "Do you have your ID?" and we selected no, and it says, "I seem to have misplaced it." It says, "Sorry, I can't let you in." That was an auto-timed auto timed interface there. And what we should have done is, let's go ahead and do it where it says, sorry, I can't let you in. Let's go ahead and find it here. So whenever this is displayed, not only do we want to call move next, but we also want to say stage canvas move next button. You want to see next button game object set active to false. All right, let's see. And let's see if we're going to have to enable it in the next run. Do you have your ID? No. I seem to have misplaced it. And it says, sorry, I can't let you in. Oh, wait. We set it on the wrong one. Go back here. So this one actually uses real-time delay, which is 0.7 seconds. So we don't actually want to set it there. We want to add a new condition here and set it to auto start, add the event, and let's do it again. So we're going to see next button, game object, set active, false. All right, there we go. So do you have your ID? I would say no. Seem to have misplaced it. Click next, no text. And then when we go to the next one, what we want to do is re-enable that. So at the end of the dialog, we want to turn it back on here. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to say next button, game object, set active, true. And there we go. So I'm going to continue playing through this. Do you have your ID? And we'll say no. I seem to have misplaced it. Click next, no button, and then we get that button back here. And then we can continue on. And this one is another auto time dialog. We could hide a button for it, but we're not going to bother to do that now. And this dialog is in auto time, so we'll just click next. Now he's telling us to go and speak to NPC 2. So let's do that. And we've reached the end of the dialogue. So let's just walk away from this. And we close our dialogue automatically using the player trigger actually. So if we select our main character here, we see that we've set an event here, which is game object set active false for stage canvas. So that's how we turn off the canvas on exit. So our player trigger has this on enter event, so you can trigger an event whenever you walk up to a character, or when you walk away from a character, you can trigger another event. So we simply turn off the canvas when you walk away. All right, let's go speak to NPC 2. Now we're going to say, hey, NPC 2, there's something important I need to ask you. So NPC 1 told us to go speak to him, so we're going to speak to him now. He says, hey, sure, go ahead. And we're going to say, have you seen my ID card lying around anywhere? I need to get into the hangar. Blah, 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 blah. More talking. Wasn't busy. Standing around, careful. Okay, what do you need me to do? So it looks like we're going to go on an errand for NPC 2. And he even says, good boy, okay. I need you to get NPC 3 to agree to help me do inventory tomorrow. Same type of bot as me, but far more lazy. All right. And then we say, okay, I'll see what I can do. Okay, good. So now we have to go to speak to NPC 3. So here we go. Hey, NPC 3. It says, hey Kiwi, you seem worried, what's wrong? I seem to have lost my ID card. And then he says, hey, how do you know I lost it? And the dialogue continues, because Kiwi, you always lose your stuff. And then we continue, that's true, blah, 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 blah. And it says, I need to get into the hangar so that I can access the fans, and we expand that dialogue there. Anyways, have until about sundown to get the, oh, so that was the plot. Yes, and what on earth am I supposed to do about all of that, all of this? I really need, OU, wow, Mr. Y. I really need you to help NPC2 with inventory. If you do it, he will search the inventory for my ID. And then it says, okay, I'm not against work, but I'm taking the day off today. And Cuba says, wait, we get days off, and NPC3 says yes. All right, so here's the decision. Again, we can use alternate route titles to make this either a yes or no, or something much simpler, but we're just displaying the full text here. And then we'll ask, okay, what if I take over one of your shifts for you? So we're just gonna choose this. Okay, what if I take over one of your shifts? If you help NPC2 today. Well, that doesn't sound too bad, but today's my special day. Next. Okay, how about 2 days? That's my final offer. And then NPC3 says, deal, 2 days of rest for me is fine. And then we say, great, I will go tell NPC2 that you will be helping him today. All right, let's go back to NPC2 then. Looks like the sun is setting. All right, let's go to NPC2. Now it says, hey, were you able to get him to do his job? And we say, I did. He'll be helping do inventory. And NPC2 says, great, but I have bad news for you. I couldn't find your ID card. I checked while you were off doing whatever you were doing. So we say, wait, so where could it be? And then NPC2 says, if I had to guess, I would say that NPC3 probably took it up. Remember, he does inventory too. And then we say, yes, you're correct. I didn't even bother to ask him about that. And we say, thank you, I'll go ask him now. And we're gonna exit that dialogue, and we have to go all the way back to speak to NPC3. So let's go downstairs and speak to NPC3 again. Hi again, NPC3. I just remembered to ask you something. So you see how the dialogue is changing based on previous interaction that we have. We're simply using a condition system to check against some booleans. I'll show you the script right after we're done with this. So hi again, NPC3. I just remembered to ask you something. What is it? Could you check your inventory for my ID card? Maybe it's in there. Well, sure, I can do that. Really? I'm honestly surprised. I thought that you would be as irrational about checking inventory as NPC2. Don't tell him I sent that, is what that should say. I'm going to expand that more. Then NPC3 gets a little upset, says, don't push your luck, QB. All right, let's go next. Wait one moment, I will scan through my inventory list. And then he scans it somehow, and then says, sorry, I couldn't find it. And we say, what, really? And we continue next, and NPC3 says, yes, really. And he's gonna continue saying, hey, has NPC2 scanned your inventory yet? And we're gonna say, yes, he did, but he said that he didn't find it. And NPC3 says, that's quite strange. We keep track of every item in this house. For an item to be off the grid is impossible. Unless, and we say, unless what? Oh, nothing. Why don't you go check the rooms again? Maybe you just left it somewhere. And we say, but I already checked it, and that's not already, that's AMREADY, whatever that is. That should be already, but I already checked. And NPC3 says, trust me, do it again. And so we say, okay, I'll go look again. I already know what's gonna happen here, so actually I wish I didn't actually know what's gonna play out here, so I could just go check all the rooms for fun. But let's go in here first, and it's empty. There's absolutely nothing in here. And let's go upstairs. And let's do some room exploring. So let's check if it's in here. No, no, not in here. Let's check if it's in. Actually, let's not go to that room yet. Let's go into this one. And it's also not in here. Just a messy room, but no ID card. Let's go into this other room here. If we can walk straight. So go into this room. And what is that? What is that on the pillow? Could that be the ID card? All right, so I'm just gonna walk to it. And yeah, that actually made us get the ID card. And what's this on the wall? Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, let's go back since we just got the ID card. Let's go back to NPC 1 and see if we can go into the hangar now that we have the ID card. Alright, so now our interaction changes. So let's not do this one because that one's, well, let's click it and see what it leads us to. Oh great, you again. I told you not to come back here. Looking at this interaction again, I probably should have added about two more branches of dialogue so that we have a default dialogue that doesn't necessarily tie into the main story. So that we can rely on that one if you just walk up to a random NPC. Not easy to set up, it's just writing a dialogue. So let's just continue here. Yeah, so we're just messing around at this point. So let's go ahead and speak to him again. Let's walk away and let's go back to him again. And let's be nice this time. Let's say, hey. He's gonna say, hey Tom, did you get the ID card? And you're gonna say, I did. Strangely enough, it was on a bed in one of the rooms. And we're gonna say next, I'm not sure how I missed it. And then NPC 1 says, I am. And we say, what do you mean? And NPC 1 says, you've been used, QB. The bot who gains the most is lying. And then we say, I see what you mean. All the pieces are coming together now. One of the inventory bots lied about not having my ID card so that I could help them out. And we say NPC3 doesn't do much inventory work anyway, so having me do 2 days of work for him means little to nothing. So that only leaves you. No, it's an NPC1 says, no, you fool, NPC2, not me. And we say, oh, I saw him head towards the rooms after you had spoken to him. So it seems that right after he told us, to go ask NPC3 to check the inventory for us, he went back to the room, put down the ID card, and went back to where he was. And then he must have planted the ID. And then NPC1 says correct. And we say, darn him. What deem? Wow. That should be what deal did you make with him? You know, I'm actually going to leave those typos in there. So what deal did you make with him? It should be deal. I convinced NPC3 to help him with inventory today and told NPC3 that I would handle inventory for 2 days. And NPC1 says genius and then proceeds to laugh. We could also, where this laugh is, we could actually trigger a laugh sound effect. Or if we had a voice recording, we could just use the voice recording instead of text. And then NPC2 continues and says, NPC2 knew that you would not get help from NPC3 unless you agree to do his work for him. And again, I just need to drag down this text area so more text can be displayed here. Really not an issue. Then we say, oh darn. And NPC1 says, well, you have your ID now, so click next. Then it says, okay, I will scan you for the ID. Great, wait one moment, you're free to enter, and there we go. The hangar doors are open and we are now in the hangar, which is looking quite bright. And now we're in the hangar. Now we can complete the game. And what we need to do is set these. So if I scene view over here, let's find our character. I want to take a look at the fans. It's played. So we need to make all the fans spin at the same speed so that we can complete this game. So let's increase this fan speed. Let's go maximum. There we go. And that's it. So that's the full game playthrough. Very simple, very easy. And how much code did you see me write? Not much. And speaking of code, let's jump into what little code there is. And that code is going to be an example condition 2 here and touched ID card. So if we open up this script here, actually let's just pull this over. And here's that script. It's just 89 lines long. And all we have here is a bunch of booleans. So we're using get and set so that we can access the boolean values and that we can set them, and so that these can be set using Unity events. So this is quite flexible setup here. So here we have spoken to NPC, we have spoken to NPC2 already, we can now ask NPC3 about ID card, and has ID card we have convinced NPC3. And when you have the project, you can take a look at the story here, and you can see where those Boolean values have been used throughout the project. So for example here, if our character example condition 2 has ID card, then has ID card set to true, then we'll execute these events. We will disable these, we'll switch this off, we'll disable both of them, and then we will move next. So when you get this Storyteller project, you can actually look through all the functions yourself and see how everything is set up. And the other bit of code here is actually much shorter. So it's just a trigger. So whenever we walk up to that ID card, if you walk up to the ID card and we touch it, then it's going to set a boolean. It's going to set our has card boolean to true. It's going to find example condition 2 has card. It's going to set that to true. All right, so that's literally all that there is to it. So this concludes the final video where we did the playthrough of the entire detective bot game. We were able to find out who had our ID card. We were able to interact with the NPCs, and we were able to speak to NPC1 and have him open the gates for us. We were able to enter and set the fan speeds. And that's all there was to it. So thanks for watching this tutorial set, and I hope you found this interesting. Link to Storyteller and Gamebridge Asset can be found in the video description below.